Have you ever noticed how people's behavior changes when they perceive you in a new light? It's not just your imagination. When you start living with purpose and radiating a unique and powerful energy, it has a profound impact on those around you. Your unwavering faith, dedication to your beliefs, honesty, and spiritual nature can make people sense that there's something special about you, and it often leaves them unsure of how to react. As you live more authentically and stay true to your path, you may notice that people's reactions can be confusing and even irritating. But these reactions are not random. They are clear signs that your presence has a deep effect on them. In this article, we'll explore 9 behaviors that people exhibit when they recognize that you're someone special, someone who stands out and embodies a unique energy. The first behavior is sudden distancing. People may start to withdraw, reduce interactions, or avoid contact without any clear reason. This happens because your energy has become so high, focused, and centered that it can be unsettling to those who aren't used to it. They sense something different about you, but don't know how to handle it. This distancing can be painful, but it reflects the personal transformation you're going through. As your energy rises and you align more deeply with your purpose, people around you can feel it, whether consciously or not. This can intimidate or even threaten them, forcing them to confront parts of themselves they'd rather ignore. For example, you may notice that friends you once shared interests with start to fade away as you grow spiritually. They may stop inviting you to gatherings or communicating as often. This isn't because they harbor ill will, but because your presence makes them uncomfortable. In the workplace, this can be even more obvious. Colleagues who were once friendly may become distant, cold, or less supportive. It's because your energy has shifted, and they don't know how to connect with the new version of you. Understanding this behavior is key to not taking it personally. It's not rejection. It's a sign that you're advancing in your journey. Your light is shining brighter, and while others may not be ready for it, it's crucial that you stay on course. The second behavior is people offering you things for free. While this may seem like kindness, it can sometimes be awkward or uncomfortable. You might find yourself in a cafe, and the barista says, "This coffee is on the house," or you're in a bookstore, and the attendant insists on giving you a discount without being asked. People are drawn to your energy and feel compelled to offer you things as a way of connecting with you or showing admiration. However, this generosity can come with expectations or hidden strings attached, which can create an uncomfortable sense of obligation. It's essential to set boundaries when necessary. You're not required to accept every favor or gift, and doing so doesn't mean you owe anyone anything. These gestures are often well-intentioned, but it's up to you to decide when to graciously accept and when to politely decline. The third behavior is jealousy disguised as support. As you rise, people may begin offering what seems like genuine encouragement, but is actually laced with negativity. They might praise your accomplishments, but subtly insert doubts about whether you're ready for the next step, or if your path is too challenging. This veiled negativity is often a reflection of their own insecurities. While it might seem like concern, their words can erode your confidence if you're not careful. Recognizing this disguised jealousy is vital for protecting your peace. Surround yourself with people who truly uplift you and celebrate your growth without judgment. The fourth behavior is people constantly wanting to be near you. Your elevated energy becomes magnetic, and people are drawn to you, sometimes without understanding why. Just as spiritual figures in religious texts attracted followers, your presence becomes something people want to be around. You might find that at social events or even during quiet moments, people seek out your company. This can be flattering, but also overwhelming at times, as they may not realize the intensity of what they are drawn to. In each of these behaviors, it's clear that your energy, purpose, and light have a profound effect on those around you. Some will be drawn in, while others will feel compelled to distance themselves. What's essential is that you remain true to yourself, protect your boundaries, and continue on your journey with confidence. The reactions of others are not about you. They are a reflection of their own struggles and perceptions of your transformation. As you radiate a unique and powerful energy, people may become drawn to you, trying to capture some of that energy for themselves. This constant need for people to be near can become suffocating, making you feel like your personal space is being invaded. You may start to feel like you're no longer able to have a moment of peace, as people try to touch you, get too close, or even follow your steps. They may believe that by being close to you, something good will come to them. This behavior is reminiscent of the story of Bartimaeus, who cried out to Jesus in the crowd, believing that his proximity would bring him healing. These behaviors show that people recognize something special in you, something that makes them want to be close at any cost. However, this constant attention can also be a great challenge. You need to learn to balance people's need to connect with you and the need to protect your own space and inner peace. While it's flattering that people feel this attraction to you, it's essential that you establish boundaries so that this proximity doesn't drain your energy or cause discomfort. This may require setting clear limits and communicating your needs to others. The fifth behavior that can be challenging to deal with is the jealousy that can arise in an unexpected and seemingly irrational way when people discover that you are the chosen one. This feeling, which often doesn't make sense, can lead the person to reject you as a way to feel superior. This behavior can come from friends, acquaintances, or colleagues, and can be confusing and painful. Suddenly, someone who was close begins to act distant and cold, and you find yourself wondering if you did something wrong. In reality, you did nothing to deserve this rejection. This behavior is usually born from insecurity and the need for the other person to feel better about themselves. It's a way for them to assert themselves and feel superior, even if it's only temporary. This situation can be hard to accept because it's painful to realize that someone can act like this without reason. Similar stories are common in the Bible, such as the envy that Joseph's brothers felt when they saw that he was favored and had dreams suggesting greatness. They tried to get rid of him, not because of any fault of Joseph's, but because they couldn't bear the idea that he was special. Another example is the relationship between Saul and David, where Saul, consumed by jealousy, tried in various ways to harm David, even though David was loyal and dedicated. People who act this way tend to behave like emotional vampires, trying to absorb your energy to compensate for what they feel is lacking in themselves. They see your light, your unique energy, and even though they won't admit it, they recognize that you have something they don't. To deal with this difference, they reject you and try to bring you down so you can be on their level. They want to control you, and when they realize they can't, they try to hurt you emotionally, making you feel down in the hope of bringing you down. This behavior is typical of people who manipulate others' emotions for their own benefit. They feel a sense of relief when they see you make mistakes, as it helps them mask their own insecurities. However, it's essential to remember that this rejection is not about you, but about them. It's a reflection of their own struggles and insecurities, and not a reflection of your worth or value. When people begin to recognize that you stand out in a special way, often referred to as the chosen one, they may exhibit behaviors that are frustrating and even disheartening. One of the most common of these is intentional ignorance, where they deliberately ignore you or your achievements. This subtle but calculated behavior is meant to make you question your worth and accomplishments. Imagine trying to communicate or connect with someone, but they continuously overlook you, dismissing your efforts. This kind of deliberate ignorance can be confusing and hurtful, especially if you value communication and connection. But it's important to realize that this behavior is not a reflection of your value. It stems from the other person's insecurities. They may feel threatened by your presence or accomplishments and cope by distancing themselves in this way. Another behavior you might encounter is the constant need for others to highlight their own achievements. In an attempt to one-up you, they'll bring up their successes, no matter how trivial, in a competitive manner. This can be draining, particularly if you're someone who values humility. Picture being in a conversation where someone repeatedly tries to outshine you by emphasizing their accomplishments, leaving you feeling undervalued. However, it's crucial to remember that this isn't about you. It's a way for them to seek validation or attention, a reflection of their own feelings of inadequacy. Underestimating or downplaying your achievements is another tactic you may face. Instead of acknowledging your hard work, some people may attribute your success to luck or minimize its importance. For instance, someone might dismiss your efforts by saying, "That's not such a big deal," or "Anyone could have done that." This can be deeply frustrating, especially if you're someone who values dedication and hard-earned success. However, this behavior is often rooted in their own discomfort with your progress. They feel threatened by your achievements, and rather than celebrate them, they try to undermine their significance. Another troubling reaction is when people begin to blame you for their own problems. This can be particularly hurtful when it comes from those close to you. Suddenly you find yourself being blamed for situations that have nothing to do with your actions. For example, they might say, "This is all your fault," or "You're the reason things went wrong." This shift in blame is usually a defense mechanism to avoid taking responsibility for their own mistakes. They may feel anxious or overwhelmed, and in an effort to cope, they transfer that burden onto you. In each of these situations, it's essential to remember that these behaviors are not about you. They stem from the other person's internal struggles and insecurities. They may feel intimidated by your success, presence, or growth, and their actions are often an attempt to protect themselves from confronting those uncomfortable feelings. At the same time, you have the power to choose how you respond. You can allow their behavior to affect you, or you can rise above it. By understanding that their actions are reflections of their own inner battles, you can avoid taking them personally. This shift in perspective allows you to maintain your self-worth and confidence, regardless of how others behave. Letting go of the need to internalize their negativity can be incredibly liberating. Instead of being weighed down by their actions, you can focus on your own goals and aspirations, moving forward with clarity and purpose. Ultimately, you are not responsible for how others behave. Your responsibility lies in how you choose to respond. By approaching these situations with calm, confidence, and compassion, you create a more positive and empowering environment for yourself, free from the weight of others' insecurities.